Good morning. This is Friday for pre-algebra. I hope you're having a good morning already. Let's look at a little review from what we did yesterday. We talked about algebraic addition. Algebraic addition simply means we're going to go at this as we're adding every number. So the signs in between are simply telling us, are those numbers positive or are those numbers negative? So let's look at this. We have a negative 8 plus negative 12 gives us negative 20. Negative 20 plus positive 14 gives me a negative 6. Negative 6 plus negative 4 gives me a negative 10. Okay, let's look at the next one. What if you have negative 2 plus a positive 3, which is positive 1. Positive 1 plus negative 6 is negative 5. Negative 5 plus negative 2, negative 7. Negative 7 plus a negative 5 is a negative 12. Hopefully you did well on the little review. And remember, with the signs in between when you're doing algebraic addition, that's simply telling you we're adding all the numbers. Those signs simply tell me, is it a positive or negative number? Now, for weeks and weeks and months, we've been using a fraction times the of equals the is. And then we said a decimal times the of equals the is. And then we said a percent times the of equals the is. Now, that's what I have on the board today. Percent, of course, percents are always over 100. So if I have 23%, I put 23 over 100, okay? So the percent times the of equals the is. Now, sometimes you take a test and you get a 90 on it. Or you might take a test and get a 98 on it. Are those really frustrating ones when you get a 99? You're just so close to 100. Now, sometimes Mrs. Turner gives you a bonus question and maybe you get 103 or 105, all right? Those are extra points. Those are percentages over 100. Sometimes in life, we increase more than 100%. When you're reading a math problem, you have to really think about what it's asking you. For example, look in your book at page or lesson problem set 84. Look at your example number 1. It says, to their dismay, the townspeople found that the rodent population had increased 140%. I want to stop right there. Did they have a rodent problem? Yes, they did. Were all of the rodents a problem? Yes, they were. All the rodents were 100% a problem, okay? But their problem increased by 140%. It did not say it increased to 140%, meaning it only went up 40%. No, it increased by 140%. So when I do this problem, I have to think, okay, all of the rodents they had were a problem, plus the 140% new rodents, that would be like these are the mice and these are all the little baby mice, okay? So all of them, so now we have a 240% rodent problem, okay? We had 100% of these mice had babies, the problem got bigger. How much bigger? 140%. So all of the mice we had originally, plus 140% more mice, all of them are the problem. So my problem is 240%. You have to read these problems carefully to see if they're just saying it was an increase, or if it, as in this one, it says that it had increased 140%, meaning that's how much the increase was. Okay, now once you know that they had 140% increase, giving them a total of 240% being the problem, continue. It says if the rodent population had been 400 before, what's the rodent population now? Well, very simple. We know what our percent is, so we're going to say 240 over 100. Where did I get the 100? So, well, from the formula, Mrs. Turner, yes, but why was it a 100 in my formula? Because all percents equal a fraction over 100, okay? So we have 240 over 100 times the of. So go back to your book. How many were there? There were, I'm sorry, I have to look and see where the problem went. An increase of 140%. Okay, the rodent population had been 400. So our rodent problem was 400. So how many rodents do we have now? Okay, we're going to cancel this out and put a 1, making this a 4. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 4 is 16. Put our 6 down and carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 8, plus the 1 is 9. They now have 960 mice. Gross. Okay? So, when it tells you that something increased 150%, 180%, you need to add that number to the 100% that they already had to get your new percent before you put it over 100. Okay? Let's look at the next one. It says the number of cheering fans increased from 60 to 240. They must be having a really good season to get that many extra fans, okay? Now, erase that out of the way. It says, what percent increase was this? Okay? Now, we're going to replace this here. We don't know what the percent is, okay? So we're just going to say, whoops, I erased my formula. We're going to say what percent, okay? We don't know what the percent is. We're just going to write that down. What percent, what's our number we started with? Of 60 equals 240. Now remember, this 60 can be written as a fraction if we simply do what? Put it over a 1. And when I do that, it makes my number a little easier to work with, doesn't it? Okay? Because what am I going to do? Well, it tells me to multiply this by 60, so what am I really going to do? Okay, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use the reciprocal. I'm going to flip it upside down. Okay, so I'm going to take and I'm going to say that if I combine this, I would have. I'm going to change this to just a p. Okay, so I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so then we have 60 over 100. Okay, all I did was combine there, okay? All I did was multiply that to give me my letter, okay? Now, I'm going to take this, I'm going to use the reciprocal, and I'm going to say 60 p over 100 times 100 over 60. Remember, this is 240. What's it over? It's over a 1. Use the reciprocal, 100 over 60. This is all going to cancel, leaving me the p, or the percent. Now, look at the other side. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these 2 zeros. Then I'm going to say, oh, I can take that 6 and make it into a 1 if I divide it here. 24 divided by 6 is 4. 0 divided by 6 is 0. Okay? So now I have 40 times 10. That gives me 400. Now, I want you to be careful because what is that? It's a percent. So this is the percent of 400. Okay? So our P is 400%. Now, be very careful if I tell you not to put a percent sign in, which you're not going to see that very often. Make sure that you do put this percent. There's a big difference between 400 and 400%. Okay? All right. Several of you turned in videos where you were doing your prepositions. Many of you have been turning in your homework on time. Many of you have, you dropped in comments, okay, under certain videos. All of those get you entries into our drawing here. Oops, I forgot some more. I had some more over here. I forgot to put those in. All right, let me get them real quickly. All right, there we go. I forgot I had all those. All right, so now we got all these that are going to have drawings, and we're going to turn them upside down. Whoops, dropped one out. All right, keep going, and we're going to get the gift card is going to go to, let me turn it around so you all can see it, goes to Lily. So Lily, you, the next time you're in to get a packet, or the next time I send a packet, that there will be a gift card for you in there for winning the drawing. Now let me remind you, how do you get them? Dropping comments. Sometimes I'll tell you what to comment or what to comment about. You drop one of those comments in. It's not just every time you make a comment, but it's when I ask you to make a comment in the video, I might tell you what to put in there, or turning in your work on time, sending videos, those kinds of things get you in the drawing. Some of you had 5 and 6 of them in there, okay? Some of you didn't have any, so make sure that you're participating. All right, go ahead and do your homework and your quiz. Think, think, think. Don't get these wrong. They're really easy.